If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
On Spotify, you can listen to all your favorite artists and podcasts in one place for free. You don't even need a premium account. I don't have a premium account.
Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcast so you never have to miss an episode. Premium users can download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are. Easily share what you're listening to with your friends through Instagram.
If you haven't done so already, be sure to download the Spotify app. Search for Screen of the Crime on Spotify or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. Also make sure to follow me so you never miss an episode of Screen of the Crime. Hi, you're listening to Screen of the Crime.
I'm Tess.
And I'm Maggie, and this is a podcast where we talk about true crime
and what would happen if your favorite TV and movie characters committed those crimes.
Hi.
We're back.
We are.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm very tired tonight.
Me too.
Yeah.
But what's new? It's just that time of year where everyone's like constantly exhausted and I don't know what to do with myself anymore. So, there's that.
I'm tired because I had to cover my manager's shift at the deli this morning. So I woke up extra early.
Yeah. No, I didn't sleep that well last night, and then I have a 9 a.m. class, so I'm up and out of here by 8, and I'm just I would like some sleep more consistently, but alas, here we are. I don't know why I can sleep I had such a regular sleep schedule during the summer, and then the minute classes start, I'm nope. Even when I'm not staying up doing stuff, I just can't sleep. It's weird.
I love sleep. I love sleep.
Me too. But
Yeah. Okay. I went to go see Dr. Sleep yesterday.
Ooh.
The Shining sequel. The Shining sequel, I guess, is what you could call it.
Yeah.
With Ewan McGregor. Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was fantastic. The movie was alright. I feel like it could have been shorter.
How long was it?
It was 2.5 hours, I think.
That's long, yeah.
It started at 11. We got out of the theater at 1:45.
Damn.
Yeah. So
it's long.
It was long. But it was good. It wasn't bad. It's just long. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they redid a lot of scenes from The Shining. The whole wall of blood scene.
When it's coming out from the elevator?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That scene, and then they redid the scene when Danny's rolling around on his tricycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then the axe scene, not the here's Johnny, but the woman screaming, Wendy screaming.
Yeah.
They recast everyone.
Whack.
Yeah, it was weird.
I want to see it, but I feel I want to see that movie after I read The Shining, or finish listening to The Shining.
Yeah. I wish the library system that I use would stop having all the audiobooks I want to listen to already checked out so that I could listen to the books I want to listen to. Including I want to listen to Stephen King's memoir, which I started in high school. I never finished.
Damn.
And also his new book, The Institution, I think is what it's called. Or The Institute, or something like that.
Uh-huh. Cool.
And also The Shining. Everything's checked out. Or not an audiobook. And I can't afford Audible. So that's my life. I I have 2 presentations this week.
Exciting.
Super exciting. One's tomorrow, so wish me luck. And when you're listening to this, my other one will be tomorrow. I have one on Tuesday and Thursday. And the one on Thursday, half my group has not done anything.
Ooh.
And, like, I think it's because they don't know it's due on Thursday, because I found out yesterday we're presenting on Thursday.
Oh, there you go.
But still. It's on Amazon, and it's for operations management. And if you don't know what that is, or you think it sounds boring, it is boring. And it's hard. And it's not my major. But, yeah.
Fun.
Also, yeah. Fun. It's week 13 of college.
Of this semester.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have anything else to say from last week because nothing's happened, you know?
I enrolled. I did not get the classes I wanted. Which is stupid because I graduate next fall.
Yeah.
So, like, give me my classes.
Yeah, you would think you would maybe be a little bit more up on the wait list, but no.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. No.
Nothing?
No, nothing of any relevance to anyone's lives.
Great.
So, like, all of my stories, I feel like, are just very random little things that, like, no one else finds entertaining but me. So I'm just like, I'll refrain from telling any of them.
Alright, should I just jump on into it then?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So today's case is on Jeena Han and her twin sister, Sunny Han.
Cool.
Alright, this is really short, because in an effort to please Tess, I had to pick a case that had something to do with a topic that she will discuss later, because I want to keep it a surprise, even though you probably read the title of this episode.
Yeah.
So I really tried. I really did. Collier was in on it too. He was helping me while we were both at work this morning.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so both twins were co-valedictorians at their San Diego County High School. They were once close, but had a history of fighting with each other. By November of 1996, Jeena was convinced that Sunny had some of her belongings and wouldn't return them, and therefore a murder plot was hatched. Pretty simple, okay.
Yeah.
Archie Bryant, who was 18, and John Sarath, who was 16, posed as magazine salesmen to get into Sunny Han's apartment. She was in her bedroom at the time and heard her roommate Kim scuffling with the men. She used her cell phone to call 911 before the 2 teens burst into her bedroom and tied her up. Prosecutors at the time said that Jeena Han had been telling people for days that she wanted her sister dead and was trying to recruit someone to help her do it. The sisters had been feuding earlier in the year, and Sunny punched Jeena in the face and had her arrested on allegations of using her credit card and taking her car.
Shit.
Which was a BMW. After her arrest on the theft charges, Jeena Han escaped from a San Diego jail during her work furlough. She was arrested in Irvine in connection with the attack on her sister. Bryant, who carried the gun in the attack, was sentenced, when this was written Friday, to 18 years in state prison.
Okay.
Saharath is expected to be sentenced to 8 years, pending a decision whether that will be in decision on whether it will be in prison or a California Youth Authority facility, because he was 16. The judge said that she was more lenient with them because she believed Han was the mastermind of the scheme. Before the judge imposed her sentence, a tearful Jeena Han addressed the court for the first time since her court proceedings began. "I am deeply sorry for everything that has happened," she said in a soft voice. "I am truly sorry." The woman said that despite the circumstances, quote, "Despite the circumstances, I had absolutely no intention to kill my twin sister. Sunny is my flesh and blood." Han, who was born in South Korea, also apologized to the Korean American community, which had waged a campaign for leniency in her sentencing, and submitted 17,000 signatures to the court.
Damn.
Han reserved her final remarks for Sunny. Quote, "I just want my sister to know that I love her very much," she said. Sunny Han was not at the sentencing. She survived just over because she's fucking dead. Okay. But their mother, Boo Kim, who was 49, begged the judge for leniency and cried as the sentence was announced. During the trial, the prosecution portrayed Jeen Han as a cold schemer who wanted her sister dead. They presented evidence in the days before the attack. Han had asked several people to help her carry out the slaying. Attorneys for all three defendants maintained Friday that there was no murder plot among the three. Quote, I will never believe until the day I die that she was going to kill her sister, said Han's attorney, Roger Alexander. I will never believe it was her intention. Prosecutor Bruce Moore had asked for the maximum sentence for all three defendants. He declined to speak to the media after the sentencing. 19 years later. Time jump. The parole board recommended release for Jeen Han, now 43. Governor Jerry Brown will have final say on the upholding or rejecting parole during a review period, according to the Orange County District Attorney's Office. I said Orange County like that because of the OC.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. But according to prosecutors who cited a parole board psychologist's diagnosis that Han has borderline personality disorder with antisocial traits, Han continues to pose an unreasonable risk of danger to society. Though Han submitted letters from men in the U.S. and abroad that suggested she had plans after her release, prosecutors said that the correspondence pointed to her continued ability to manipulate. Quote, in just writing letters to them, she facilitated them in offering her money, lodging, jobs, and with regards to gentlemen in England, even her $100,000 even giving her $100,000 after only corresponding with her for 12 months. Yeah.
Okay.
This manipulative ability is not surprising given her extreme intelligence coupled with her untreated personality disorder, Deputy District Attorney. Dude, these abbreviations. Nikki Chambers wrote in her letter to the governor. The fact remains that she is still flexing the manipulation muscle that she used when she recruited two young men to murder her sister, and they appear to be as keen as they were in 1996. So, that's short. So I have more information. This is straight quotes.
Okay.
From a Vice News article on twins and why they kill each other.
Okay.
Okay. I love Vice News. Okay. We've long assumed that twins are each other's best friends, and popular culture really suggests otherwise. From the Parent Trap and Mary-Kate and Ashley to the chain-smoking pair Patty and Selma in The Simpsons, twins have long been touted as soulmates from birth. As an identical twin, I've always felt closer to my twin than my older sister. It's led me to question whether twins naturally share a strong relationship with their non-identical brothers and sisters. Twins have many more similar experiences than your average siblings, explained Dr. Abaddon Mulvesky, a psychologist and author of Sibling Issues in Therapy. The similarities between them often create a certain bond that is unrepeatable in other sibling dynamics. Tracy Sutherland, 27, a Massachusetts preschool teacher, agrees. Quote, there's a loyalty twins have with one another. It's an inevitable inner circle that no one else gets to be a part of. As crazy as it sounds, we truly are one half of each other. But at the same time, we are our own person. Okay. My husband thinks it's so weird that any memory that I share from my childhood, I start by saying we and never I. Adds fellow twin Kim Outhouse. Outhouse, okay. She's 29. Everything that I did as a child also included my twin. Unsurprisingly, research has found that more twins remain unmarried than singletons. With one study concluding that this might indicate that twins do not have the same need for marriage as their non-twin counterparts. Couple this with other research that finds the loss of a twin is more intense than those other relatives. It's little wonder that twin murders appear all the more extreme and bizarre. But while sibling rivalry, whatever, is something pretty much all families have to contend with, What exactly drives one twin not just to seek to separate and surpass the other, but to permanently and violently sever the familial bond? Malevsky attributes wanting to murder your twin to a host of factors that go way beyond standard sibling rivalry dynamics. I can't pronounce that word. Classic sibling dynamics may be a small element within this disturbing phenomenon, but at the core, actually killing a sibling is driven by the killer possessing severe psychopathology and psychosis, he says. Add to this severe psychopathology the competition that is often found in twin relationships, and you may then find a case of twin killing. You might assume that having this twin bond would add to their sense of grief. However, this isn't quite the case. Twin loss expert and author of When Grief Calls Forth the Healing Sorry, this is a long title. When Grief Calls Forth the Healing, Mary R. Morgan says that guilt often follows relief. Relief can also surface at the end of a complex relationship, especially when there is a conflicted personal identity versus twin bond issue. Rather than viewing it as a macabre act, could murdering a twin in fact be an act of liberation? Some twin pairs, not all, become disillusioned about their twinship because they struggle to be known, not just noticed. Twin expert and the same but different author Joan A. Friedman explains, since outsiders relate to them as a unit, they expectedly have conflicts with their twin and attempted to find their individual selves. Rivalry, in adult twins has everything to do with wanting to be one's own and discovering one's sense of self without worrying how this will disrupt and upset one's twin. While she says that most twin pairs eventually find ways to define their identity, some twins aren't so lucky. Just take the case of the Welsh twins, June and Jennifer Gibson, dubbed the Silent Twins, due to their secret twin language and selective mutism, which I spoke about on this podcast.
Yeah, I remember them.
After a crime spree of arson and theft, and then the then 18-year-olds were sent to Broadmoor, the UK's highest security psychiatric hospital, where they both became convinced that in order to experience true freedom, one had to die. That's it. That's the end of my
Damn.
notes. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, and all other places people like to listen? Where do we find advertisers?
The answer to one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcasts. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use.
What I really like about Anchor is that you can see like how many views per episode you have, and it gives you these cool charts that like show you how many views, and you can see like your podcast is increasing and like your viewer count. It's really nice.
Yeah, and I love that you can just upload your podcast and it gets onto all people's favorite listening sites like Spotify.
My friends were so shocked. I was like, our podcast is on Spotify. They're like, how'd you even do that?
Yeah.
So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and Tess and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. Can't wait to hear your podcast.
All right, so obviously, as mentioned before, I wanted to talk about a movie. We want to talk about a movie.
Yes, we both saw the movie.
We finally saw Us this weekend.
Yes, we did.
And, it was really good. So I want to talk about it. So I was like, find a case that we can do. So this, if you don't know anything about Us, it's Jordan Peele's second movie that he's directed, and it is a horror movie. And basically, it's hard to like. So this, I'm just going to spoil everything. So if you haven't watched it and like want to watch it, just stop.
Yeah, stop listening.
It's kind of like it's one of those ones where it's like you can't explain anything about the plot without spoiling the movie.
Yeah, 100%.
So basically, the plot of Us is there's this family, and they don't discover an identical version of their family shows up at their house and is trying to like murder them.
Yep.
And basically, so the
A
whole like
creepier identical version.
yeah, like they're like a weird like off kind of version. So basically, what the like twins I guess are is they're clones of like this whole government plot conspiracy.
Yes.
To like, so basically the government made clones of everyone and have them living like underground, like in all these like abandoned tunnels and like rail systems in the United States. And basically the whole thing is like you can control the people above ground by controlling the people underground, because you can't clone a soul, so they're still connected.
Wasn't it that they wanted to do that, but it didn't work?
It didn't work,
And
yeah.
they were abandoned.
Yes, so the clones were abandoned, but that was like the reason why they exist. They're called the tethered.
Yes.
So that's like what the clones are called. But basically, the movie starts with a quote on the screen that's like says like running underground in like the United States. There's
a bunch of abandoned.
like there's like all these miles of tunnels and stuff, and then it's like stops and you're like, okay, cryptid. And then it shows it's like 1984. You have the Hands Across America campaign going on, and there's a little girl.
You want to explain what Hands Across America is?
Oh yeah.
For most people who don't know.
Yeah, I have to say most people probably don't know what that is. It was an 80s campaign to end like hunger and like raise money for like the homeless and stuff like that. And it wasn't like super successful, but it was a very like, 80s let's all help people campaign that was like, that type of vibe. But Ronald Reagan, that shit. But anyways.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah,
But basically, the movie starts out with there's a little girl at the Santa Monica Pier with her parents, and she wanders off and she goes onto the beach and she goes into the like mystic, like whatever, like little like kind of mirror maze thing.
Yeah.
And she's like in the mirror maze and she walks up and like she turns around at one point and there's an identical version of herself, and you don't see like it's not a mirror because she's facing like they're both facing one direction.
First you think it's a mirror because her back's to it, but then she turns around and the back is still to her.
Yeah. So this girl's standing there and then like you don't see, like it kind of cuts off, but basically just to spoil the whole movie for you, but just like for the sake of understanding everything else, what's later revealed in the movie is that they swapped places. So the tethered clone
Choked normal her out.
Yeah, choked her out, and then so the regular girl was living in this like underground, like abandoned society
With the tethered.
And then the real girl, or then the tethered girl
was living in the real girl's life.
Yeah. So
Parent Trap.
yeah. But so basically then what happens, and then like you kind of see it flash forward, and then like a lot of the stuff that the Red, that's like the name of like the tethered clone, what she's saying is basically like, oh, she's kind of getting revenge.
Well, Red isn't the tethered. Red was the original untethered.
Yeah.
But then they switched, and then Red kind of became tethered.
Yes. That's the better way to put it. It's kind of confusing because, like, they're the only ones that have switched, though. And the tethered can't talk, but she can talk, but she has, like, a very raspy voice because she got, like, choked out.
And also, she's been living underground with people who can't talk.
Yeah, so, like, she just barely, like, is not, like, socialized.
Like, she hasn't been talking since she's, like, what, 6, 7?
Yeah. So, basically then, she's hunting down with... So, the girl, like, you show... Fast forward, she has a family. She has 2 kids and then a wonderful husband.
Love him.
And there's all, like, again, tethered versions of that whole family as well.
There's tethered versions of everyone in America.
It starts out with just them, and I, like, did not know very much going into this movie about it.
Yeah, just seeing the trailer, you think it's like it's just them. You think it's like a like a weird thing that's going on.
No, but I did not know there was like a whole government conspiracy, like everyone has a clone situation to it, which I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It was bigger than I thought it would be.
Yeah, for sure. But so basically, it starts out small with like the family trying to get away, and then there's also like the neighbors, and you see then that the neighbors have tethered clones. So then you're just like, oh shit, like this is a whole thing. So then later on, like people are dying, people being killed, they're like fighting off the tethered clones, and again it's like they're connected, so I guess like it's more about like outsmarting them, and like you can't physically fight them because they're the same if not stronger. Like I definitely think with the husband it was like that guy was was stronger than the husband
they're
was.
like they're the same person but without like something like their own brain kind of stopping them. Like, you know how in zombie movies it's just like the zombies are kind of super strong because there's like nothing holding them back.
Yeah, similar concept.
Yeah, so like I'm assuming they're the same strength or whatever, but they're just like nothing's holding them back, you know?
Yeah.
Like in our brain we're like, I'm not gonna pummel him to death, but he's just like,
yeah, but he will. They're all really creepy. I think the tethered daughter was really creepy.
She had no eyebrows.
And she was also, the daughter was a runner in track and field, so then the tethered one was, like, super fast.
Yeah, but she ran in, like, you know how you normally run, you're kind of, like, flaily? Like, the tethered was just, like, straight back, like, speed run.
Yeah.
They all walked so creepily.
Yeah. So, basically, like, to bring this back to the case.
If you want to.
It was just to say we did.
Mm-hmm.
I think, again, it's like, they're not twins, but it's like a twin trying to kill a twin out of rivalry.
They look exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, like they're clones. So, and then one is like missing a key human element to them, which goes kind of with like, so like if you're psychopathic, like you're missing that like empathy and like emotion, which the tethered don't have. But I think it's very interesting that which also, so before I go into that point, just to talk about like the general theme, the movie, because it's a Jordan Peele movie, so there's obviously like a commentary on like social issues. This was about kind of like homelessness and like forgetting about like the people you just forget about to take care of, pretty much.
Yes.
And like obviously with the Hands Across America thing, it's like that really pushes that theme. But I thought it was very interesting how the reveal that they switched places, and that like it kind of really pushes the fact that it's like everyone's human and like everyone can feel and like is capable of any type of emotion. It just like the tether, like again you would think like, oh, they're just like mindless clones, but the thing is like you see them having like feelings and emotions because they switch, so it's not like she's not capable of it, because like the white head,
it's just how they were treated in the underground.
Yeah, because I think they were saying like at one point like you can't clone a soul, so
yeah,
it
so they have the same soul.
Yeah, but it's like I think people were thinking of them as like
soulless.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're not.
So.
And also to bring it back to the case, from the Vice article that I read about twins killing twins, they are literally like trying to make them the only version of themselves.
Yeah.
Because they all carry around scissors to kill the other person.
Yeah.
And to like detether themselves. So it's the equivalent of like trying to be the only one of you, because they share a soul, as twins feel like they do. And therefore they're killing the other one, so they're the only one with the soul. Just to throw it back to my case.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. But no, yeah, it was a weird movie. I enjoyed it a lot. The acting was all absolutely amazing. Lupita Nyong'o, fucking A+, 1,000 stars. She was so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She was super creepy. She has this whole monologue. Does she have an accent?
No.
Okay. Alright. I thought she was like British or something. Am I wrong?
I mean, she, like, the actress is British, but in this she didn't have...
No, I know. Yeah, no, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So she has this whole monologue. So, like, when the tethered break into their house, they have them sit down, and they have her... What is that, her name? The non-tethered one. Is it...
Oh, God, I don't know.
Okay. And she, like, has to handcuff herself, but then, like, the tethered version, or the red version, has this whole monologue, but her voice is, like, fucked up.
Yeah,
but
it's all raspy and
so
stuff.
So it's, like, really creepy, but she, like, starts with, like, once upon a time.
Yeah.
And she, like, goes through her whole life as a tethered, because what happens is everything that happens to the person that they're tethered to happens to them. Mm-hmm. So, like, when she got pregnant... like Red got pregnant too, and then the second birth was a C-section, but then Red had to cut it out herself. And then when you see at the end of the movie, when it flashes back to when they originally swapped, they have a scene. So not tethered Red, not tethered one, went, like, her father wins her a Thriller t-shirt, which is why they all wear one glove. Sorry, I just thought it was funny. And how... I think that's the creepiest scene. You might not agree with me, but, like, her father, the tethered version of him, it's the same movements, but, like, fucked up a little.
Yeah. It's
and, like, he turns around with this t-shirt and he's smiling, and it's really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And, like, she, like, walks down the hall, and everyone that was on, like, the pier and the boardwalk and the games and everything, they're doing the same thing, but in, like, a jerky kind of way, which I thought was super fucking creepy.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's very creepy. And, like, again, it's just, like, the whole thing here. It's kind of one of those situations where it's, like, you don't want them to win, but also it's, like, kind of, like, you're, like, you know what?
Like knowing like the meaning behind it and how they're, like, supposed to represent, like, the homeless people and the people we don't see but, like, are, like, suffering and stuff like that, you, like, should root for them. But then in the movie they're fucking murdering everyone.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
And then you find out in the end that, like, Lupita, like, switched, so she's technically a tethered person, and she kind of won in the end. But, like, what she did as a child was terrible.
Yeah.
Because Red even says, like, why didn't you take me with you? Like, instead of dragging her down there, like, no one was gonna be upset if she was missing. No one would have known, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
She could have kept her up there, but she didn't. And then in the car, when her parents are, like, yelling about how, like, the little girl went missing for, like, 5 minutes, she, like, see in the end, because at first you just see her, like, sitting there, and she looks sad because her parents are fighting. But then, like, it cuts back to that scene later, and she, like, starts smiling, like, really creepily. And it's like, she's evil.
Yeah.
But then she, like, grows up and she's normal and she wants to save her family and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's really ambiguous that, like,
it is
don't know what
the
he
whole
wants.
the fact that they switched is a little confusing to me, just because it's like that character that is just hard to think about. Like what how do they feel about this? Because it's like they're fighting, like, because she's fighting all these, like, tethered people, but that's
one
where
of
she was
them.
one of. So it's just confusing. It is kind of like a feeling of, like, she just wanted to leave it and forget about it and, like, just repress it.
Do you think it could be compared to, like when people are poor, but then they, like, come into money, but then they just, like, don't give a shit about poor people anymore? They're like, that was my old life. Like, fuck them. If I can do it, they can do it themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, it's just, like, because, like, clearly she gave a shit when, like, her son did that weird T-pose and backed up the other kid into the fire.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was, like, her son, kind of. Mm-hmm. Partially. Like, she cared about him, but she killed a lot of tethered people.
Yeah.
Her kill count was pretty high. But, like, I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was interesting. I don't know. It was definitely, like, It was really creepy. I think the scene when the family is first, like the scene when the tethered family arrives at their house is one of the creepiest scenes.
Like when they're all dark.
Yeah, like it's when they're standing in the driveway.
Yeah.
And like they first get to the house, and this is like the first introduction of them.
Yeah, there's a family in our driveway.
I thought that was the creepiest thing I've ever seen, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
And like at the end of because the dad keeps going out to like talk to them. He's like, it's not cool, leave or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like they're holding hands and then they stop holding hands
and then
they scatter.
Oh.
And it's fucking creepy because the little boy just crawls off.
Yeah, he's like he kind of acts like a little like what, you know, when you're a kid and like you act like a dog or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that.
He's creepy as fuck.
But that, like, when they all just slither away, like, ooh, I don't care what the movie's about or like all the like meaning, like that just from a pure like I want to be creeped out way. 10 out of 10 creepiest thing.
Yeah,
I've
there's
ever
a lot
seen.
of creepy imagery, and I like it because there's not jump scares per se.
Yeah.
Like there are like when like the Elizabeth Moss's family gets murdered and like all of a sudden they just like show up and kill her. But like it's not like a sound cue pop-up type kind of situation. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the creepy aspects are within the acting of the family.
Yeah.
And like the creepy smiling they do, and like I said before with like the dad and how he like fucking turns around and it just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With the thriller.
No. But no, yeah, anything, like, I feel like within horror stuff, like, home invasion type stuff always is, like, some of this, like, or, for example, the movie Hush.
Yeah.
That movie freaks me out. Like, anything where it's, like, you are in your house and, like, someone's trying to get in, I'm like, I fucking hate.
Because that could happen.
Yeah. And also, it's, like, ooh, it's so creepy to me. Ugh. Yeah. But, I don't know, 10 out of 10 movie. Highly recommend seeing it.
Very good. There's also like a lot of stuff we didn't talk about, like hidden in there, like in the first scene with all the movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's
like,
a lot
Easter
of
eggs and references and like
stuff.
Things that really push the themes of the movie.
Yeah.
It would be a really great movie to watch in like a film class.
I think so.
It would be such a good movie, but that and Get Out would be another one that would be so good to watch.
Yeah, Jordan Peele's really pulling through, man.
Hitting it out of the park, so good.
And it was funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was scary, but some parts were, like, pretty funny.
It was the right amount of comedy, I think, for what it was. Because it wasn't, like, one of those movies, or, like, for example, it wasn't, like, Ready or Not, where it was, like...
Really, really funny.
It was, like,
when she was just, like, in lots.
Where it was, like, bordering, like, a horror comedy. Like, this was, like, the right amount of... Because it was, like, joking about, like, family stuff, where it's, like, annoying...
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's a dad right there.
Yeah, it's, like, that kind of thing. Just the right amount of humor. Because I love horror and, like, comedy together, but sometimes if it's, like, trying to... Like, sometimes it just doesn't work. You know?
Do you have an example?
Like... Oh, the one that's coming off the top of my head right now is Ready or Not, but that one I think was a horror comedy.
Yeah.
So, like...
That one was clearly supposed to be funny.
I'm trying to think of another one that I was, like, thinking of. Or, like, I hate to say it, but It Chapter 2. That one had too many... It Chapter 2 had too many jokes in it. In my
Each
opinion.
their own.
In my opinion. Just considering the tone of the first one to the second one, I think it was...
I think the problem with you, and I think your problem is, Tess, is that It Chapter 2 had probably the same amount of jokes, but the issue is they're not coming from kids, so we don't find them as endearing. They're coming from adults.
No, I disagree.
Okay, well, you're wrong. And
No, because also I'm thinking of the specific scene I'm thinking of in It Chapter 2 is when Eddie is in the pharmacy and he goes to the basement and it's the whole scene with his mom, but then the thing's throwing up on him and they cut in music.
the music?
They cut in music. That's not a thing with... If he was a kid or not, it would have been the same thing. It breaks the tone of it. And I was like, this is stupid.
You're stupid.
No.
You're making me upset. Okay.
I'm just... That's like the... I'm not...
I understand that Tess
example,
doesn't like It Chapter 2, but I did. On a different note, I think that comedy and horror is really great because I fucking hate dramas with a burning passion.
Yeah.
Like if Jordan Peele was a drama writer, no matter if it was great and all of his meanings and stuff, I wouldn't watch any of his movies.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying there's a fine line. I think this was the perfect amount.
Also, there's different versions. Like,
Yeah.
Scream, that is a horror comedy.
Yeah.
And, like, what's another horror comedy?
I'm trying to think like a one that's like meant to be. Like, there's some that are funny, but they're not meant to be funny.
Oh, yeah.
What's another one? Like Babysitter and like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the newer stuff leans a lot more into comedy.
Yeah, but it's also scary and like
Yeah.
I mean, a decent
Or like
movie.
what's the one with the Christmas one where it's like the kids we watched it.
Yeah. Is it called Hide and Seek? No.
It's
I can find the name of it. It's the kid from Peter Pan.
Oh my gosh, what was that called?
I forced you to watch. Tess had her friend over, and I was like, I have a movie to watch. And then they had no idea what was
Why did we watch that?
Because I just put it on.
No, like we watched it for an actor.
Oh, it was because, what's his name? He dies almost immediately. The guy from Power Rangers is in it.
Oh my god.
My phone just died.
Oh, and it was the guy from Power Rangers and the guy from Stranger Things. He was in it.
Both of them were in it. Yeah, my phone's... They're the same guy.
They're the same guy.
My phone's dead. I can't look it up. But,
What was that? Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'll look it up, but I feel like it's irrelevant. But yeah,
That was a good movie.
yeah.
And it wasn't really... Like, it was... That's more on the side of, I would say, It Chapter 1 in comedic value, because it wasn't like... It was kind of a home invasion movie, but it wasn't at all.
Yeah.
It, like, had comedy aspects with, like, the kid from Power Rangers and Stranger Things when he's sitting on the swing set, like, trying to, like fake apologize to her or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just gets murdered. Like, that's the funny...
Better watch out.
Better watch out, yeah.
I knew, because it was a Christmas movie.
Highly recommend. Christmas time's coming up. You should watch it. We're not going to spoil it. So,
Yeah.
It's got the Australian girl from The Society in it. She's also from The Visit. She's good. It's got the other
Yeah.
kid from The Visit in it as well. M. Night Shyamalan, call out.
No, yeah, that was a funny movie. Yeah. So, like, those movies I love, but I think the main issue I have with it, Chapter 2, was I think it was...
Why are you bringing this up?
Because,
I don't want to talk to you.
listen, I was told to not be a bitch on this podcast, so I'm not going to be a bitch and agree with you.
You don't have to agree with me. We can just stop talking about it. But fine. Tell me how much you hate It Chapter 2. It's fine.
I don't hate it, Chapter 2. I really liked it, Chapter 2.
It seems like you're lying to me.
I am purely talking about how I don't think they, like, the comedy they had in it. Certain times I didn't like it. I thought I pushed it. I'm just trying to give an example of, like, one end of the spectrum, other end of the spectrum. It's right in the middle.
Could you choose a worse movie?
Probably. Hold on. Let me think about it. There's one I'm trying to think of that I know we watched, and I can't remember what it was. But I know there's another one that I was trying to think of first, but it just came into my head more because I, like, know the title. There was definitely another one we watched, though, where I was like, what is this? I feel like Terrifier was kind of like that, where it's like, was trying to be funny sometimes, and it was just like...
Was it trying to be
I think
funny?
Terrifier was just a bad movie.
It was just a bad movie, yeah.
It was just a bad movie.
I don't think it was trying to be funny
Yeah.
at all.
I think Terrifier wasn't trying to be funny. It was just bad, so it came off as funny. Because it was cheesy.
Did it even come off as funny? It came off as cringy.
Yeah. I guess that's another...
Disgusting at times.
Yeah.
Except for the gun scene.
Yeah.
When he full on, like the SNL meme of, like, what you say?
He full on Indiana Jones that shit and just whipped out a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
That was funny. A lot of people didn't like that, but I thought that was fucking funny.
It's too bad there's, like, never a time I will be able to talk about Indiana Jones on this podcast, because...
Yes, there is. You could talk about Indiana Jones whenever you want, Tess.
Well, like, for a case.
Well, you could. You've connected weirder movies.
That's fair. That is fair. I just really like Indiana Jones. But, you know. I was talking about it earlier, that's why it was in my mind.
Yeah, Tess thinks she saw an alien.
Because I did. No, let me rephrase that. I didn't say I think I saw an alien. I thought I saw a UFO, which is different. Because it's not necessarily an alien, but I will tell you what happened. So, it was...
I think you've already said it on the podcast before, but continue.
I don't think I have.
I'm sure you have.
Okay.
No, keep saying it.
Okay.
Say it for our new listeners.
Yeah, maybe this is the only episode you've listened to.
I'm sorry, Fiddis.
Listen, shut the fuck up. So, I was outside...
She was told not to be a bitch once. She's kicking me, and when I want to know that the abuse is coming from her. No, tell your story.
So, I was outside with my dog one night, and it was, like, clear night. You can see the stars. Like, not that many, just because I'm, like, light pollution. But I, like, was, like, thought I saw, like, a helicopter or, like, a plane or something. Because, you know, like, a steady, like, bright light. And it was, like, slowly moving. So I was like, oh, it's supposed to be, like, far away, like, moving towards me. That's what I thought, because it kind of was, like, going up slowly. But then it, like, did that, like, really quick jump up and then, like, was not in sight. Like, which is something that, like, I feel like only happens in, like, you know, like, sci-fi things, because it's not something that, like, planes can actually do. Where it's, like, you know, that, like, just almost, like, laser beamed away kind of thing. And, like, there's no explanation for it. I'm not crazy. Like, I wouldn't... If I, like, just saw a weird plane, I'd be like, that's a plane. But, like, this is, like... Because of the way it moved, I'm like, that's not something that's physically possible. So, all I'm saying is it's UFO. Maybe it's aliens, maybe it's not. Or it's just some, like, tech that we don't know exists. But does exist.
You're in Chicago. And you're the only one that saw this. And no one else saw it? How crazy! And also, it could be totally explained by so many things. I don't know what it looks like, so I couldn't explain it to you, but I'm sure it can be explained by, like, a fucking flashlight. Like we have tech that is a light, and I understand what you're saying, it jumped, but maybe it just stopped being lit.
No, because I saw the light move. It was like...
I don't think Tess saw a UFO.
Hold on. I will demonstrate.
I'm not saying she's crazy, but I'm saying her experience isn't valid.
It's like... Hold on.
She says, and then Jules.
Like, it was moving like this, and she was like that, and then disappears. Like,
I know what you're saying, Tess.
Like...
It's explainable.
I'm not saying it's not explainable, but I'm saying
it's not a UFO.
I don't know. What was it?
Probably a plane.
A plane can't do that, though.
It can. Lots of planes can. And I don't... You're showing me with a jewel light, and I understand that the light went upwards, Tess, but I don't think it's a UFO, because you know why? You're in a very populated city, and you're the only one that saw it. On a clear night. You know how many UFO sightings that are very fake, that so many people have seen? And you're the only one that saw this one?
It wasn't, but the thing was, it was, like, not, like, because I know some of the other ones that have, like, gone viral on Twitter and stuff, like, those are, like, for very extended periods of time, which it's, like, more understandable. And maybe I'm not the only one who saw it, but, like, I didn't go to Twitter and, like,
I'm just gonna say it here. Tess is wrong. And she's really trying to push this UFO thing that happened to her, but I don't think it happened.
And that's
the end of our podcast and our friendship. I'm walking home tonight. Goodbye.
There's nothing else I can say about this, just because I know deep down in my soul what happened. So
I know what I believe. And I'm not saying aliens don't exist, because clearly they do.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was aliens, but I'm saying it was not something I would have you would normally
It could be
seen.
Government tech, too.
That's what I'm saying. I live 5 minutes away from a national lab.
The doorbell just rang. Sorry.
Ooh. I'm creeped out.
Pizza?
Oh my god. When we were watching Us, someone opened our door and, like, all of my roommates
busted in.
It was like, no, it was my friend getting a ride home from, like, my other friend who was over. But, like, all of my roommates were sitting there, so I'm like, who would just open
We're
the
like,
door?
it's a clone.
Oh my god. Absolutely terrifying. Anyways,
I think that's the end.
that's all I
That's
can
the end of
say.
the conversation. Please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Don't kill anyone. Also, I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna try and pull it back to us, but I couldn't. I forgot.
Oh.
I don't know. If you see your clone, don't associate.
Yeah, kill them immediately.
Hold hands across America.
Yeah.
Put on your red jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Bye. I guess. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.